Hi, I'm Brandon from ThirstGym.com, and today we're talking about an exercise called the Larsen Press. Now, this is a bench press variation used to help your bench press, and the big thing we're trying to take away here is teaching body rigidity and also taking the leg drive out of the exercise. So think of this as like a floor press on a bench. Now, there can definitely be some benefits to both exercises, the floor press and the Larsen press. I think it really kind of depends on what your goals are and where you have issues with your bench press. The Larsen press has definitely become a lot more popular recently with raw lifting. More in the equipped world, you saw a lot more of the close grip bench press. You can make a case for both, and here we're going to talk about the Larsen press specifically. So the main thing is you've got to have your setup pretty much normal minus your leg drive. And so what most lifters are going to do is they're going to lock their legs, have them straight out in front of them, and then bench press with that. And so what that's going to let us do is, one, if you happen to be somebody that, like I'm pretty short, so a floor press for me, my bar is pretty much about on my chest. But for most people, that's not the case when they do a floor press. Their bar is going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 inches away from their chest, give or take. Larsen press, you're still going to be able to touch your chest and remove that leg drive. So that's a key component there. And the other one is teaching rigidity throughout the whole body while not having that leg drive. So it makes it a lot more upper body specific, even though the bench press is an upper body motion. But for competitive power lifters, it's definitely has more of a full body, considering there's leg drive and things like that. So what we're going to do here, I'm gonna get set, and what I like to do is put my hands in my normal competition grip, and then with my feet, I'm gonna set those last. So I'm gonna set my back just like I would if I was gonna do my regular bench press here. So this would be like my bench press setup. And then what I'm gonna do now is take my legs, bring them straight out in front of me, knees locked, and then I'm going to unrack the bar and perform my bench press in this position. So as you can see, one, my arch isn't as big, so that's automatically going to give me more range of motion, just naturally increasing time under tension, which will be good for building upper body strength and size. But then by taking this away, I'm going to lose that stability component, making me have to focus on keeping my body rigid, because if I'm not rigid, then I'm kind of all over the place, and that's not ideal, right? So again, get set, feet come straight, unrack the bar. Here, press. Then rack. Okay. Now, I will say that I'm the shorter end, so I kind of have a leg up on this, quite literally and figuratively, that a lot of my leg is still on the bench while I do this. Longer lifters, obviously their legs are going to be further out, creating a longer lever, making it more difficult. So you've really kind of got some things there. You'll even see some lifters, rather than have their legs straight here, what they'll do is they'll have their legs out like this in the same position, basically where their feet would be. They're just taking their feet off. And then what that's doing is, again, taking the leg drive away, still trying to maintain some rigidity, but it's not as supported on the bench. So you've got some options there in terms of where your feet go. I'm sorry, your legs, and what feels comfortable. Now, the big thing with this exercise, again, is teaching tightness, increasing upper body strength, taking the leg drive away. So to me, this is more of a supplemental based exercise. This is the exercise to build your bench press. So on a secondary press day, this might be your main movement. On your main press day, this is probably your secondary movement. You're probably not gonna do this as like your heavy lift for the week. You're gonna do your competition style work more at the front end and use this to develop that extra upper body strength. So I think that's the big reason why it's become more popular, is that it can remove the leg drive and really focus on the upper body. And then for lifters that are undersized, quote unquote, on the upper body side, this is a good way to get competition skill work in a manner, that's going to translate over to the competition lift. So in general, again, probably a supplemental movement. Probably anywhere for 2 to 4 sets, of anywhere really, honestly, from doubles all the way up to 6 sets of 8, maybe even sets of 10 if you want to get crazy. But I think you're usually going to see them in that 2 to 6 rep range in more cases than not, to where it's going to be controlled and owned, but it's not going to be super, super long, chasing those crazy hypertrophy numbers like 10 or 12 reps. Just because you'd much rather do more sets in like the 5 to 6 range and get those good quality reps at heavier loads. So that's the Larsen Press, very good gist breakdown of it. If you got any questions regarding the specific exercise, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Thanks, have a great day.